Well, good morning to all of those who joined us. Thank you for tuning in to ESPN's Outside the Lines with me, your host, Tyler Hill. Today we have a huge story which evolved from a huge boy, a small town, with a mixed with a huge amount of love. Today we have a special guest. His name is Michael Oher, Briarcrest football standout, Ole Miss superstar, and now a Baltimore Raven. Many of you know his story after the recent movie The Blind Side. But there is more behind this big guy than what we saw in theaters. Now let's introduce Michael Oher. Michael?
How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Well, first of all, thank you for fitting us in your busy schedule. I'm sure it was no easy task.
It's no problem, no problem. I like to get back any way I can.
Well, that seems very apparent after your recent portrayal in The Blind Side. The way you would take care of SJ and Collins makes you seem like the Jolly Green Giant.
Thank you, sir.
So, Mr. Oher.
Call me Michael, please.
All right. So, Michael, generally asking, is The Blind Side an accurate description of you as an individual?
I believe so. Not meaning to brag on myself, but I mean that I think the movie really captured my essence and helped viewers to see what I'm really like and the conditions of children growing up in the same time that I did.
I see. Well, as far as the whole background of your entire life story, was that accurate as well?
In a nutshell, yeah.
Okay. Well, would you care to elaborate?
Yeah. Sometimes it's just difficult to think about all that happened.
Well, Michael, I understand, and I mean you don't have to talk about anything or speak of anything that you don't want to.
No, that's fine. I understand. The role of my mother was accurate. My mother was a good woman who made many bad decisions.
Or was it just the drugs?
No. It was the drugs, and also she slept with a lot of men. Not saying it was right, but I can't from one of those men either.
Well, that's true. So, did you know your father?
No, I didn't know my father. He was sort of a ghost in my life. I knew he was there, but I never really had any contact with him. And it was hard growing up in such a violent community, with no father figure.
Well, even though you didn't have a father, did you have anyone which you looked up to as a father figure?
Yeah, I had a friend. Steve, I believe he was in the movie. He was like a father to me. Whose father was like a father to me at times. And he was, the big, well-known guy who gave me a sense of belonging within his family unit until his wife, forced me to kick me out of his house.
Well, why was she so against helping you get on your feet?
Well, you see, she felt like I was being a nuisance to the family. They couldn't support me and them with the funds that they were bringing in.
Sorry to hear that. That's got to be a hard pill to swallow for anyone.
Yeah, it is. But I believe things happen for a reason. And one door closes, another one opens. And that's how I became involved with the Tuies.
Oh, the Tuies. Okay. Widely known. Were they as genuine and kind in real life as they were in the movie?
Yeah. The Tuies were a blessing in disguise. Don't get me wrong. I love my mom, and I love the community from which I came from. But the Tuies made me feel wanted.
Well, how so? What made them so different from, the rest of the family and the other people you know?
Well, to begin with, they were always real genuine. And no one's ever sincere as Tuies. I was ready to take the help, the food, and the hospitality at first, but shortly after we met, I was able to tell them they were real, honest people.
Nice. Well, Michael, we'll get more back to it after this next commercial.
All right.
So be ready for some more questions.
All right.
Outside the Lines is brought to you by
Little Debbie Fudge Brownies. These things are amazing. Don't, yes, you see, look, they even have English walnuts in them. I'm English and I bought them. Yes. Allow me to introduce my assistant, Donnie. Come, Donnie.
Hey!
Meet Donnie. He's going to help me today. Look, as you see, we have the ingredients here for these amazing brownies. Look, all of these are amazing here. Look at this all American white products in glass. You never really know. Well, so, go ahead to your supermarket and buy a thing of Little Debbie Brownies. Yes, no. Okay, we're done. Bye.
Welcome back to Outside the Lines. I'm your host, Tyler Hill, here with Michael Oher, Ole Miss football star and Baltimore Ravens offensive lineman. So, Michael, at any point, did you feel as if the Tuies were using you for their goodwill or just to make themselves better?
Well, you know what, man? It's funny you asked that. I was sitting in my makeshift bed one day, and I was looking around the room thinking, and then I really started noticing things around me. And I saw that, they had everything they could possibly want, so what would they need me for? And I realized at that moment that thought was real ridiculous, so I put that in my head.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you were able to feel at home with such total strangers.
It wasn't easy, man, believe me. I was used to doing those things for myself, like doing laundry, finding food, just looking out for my own back until I had a family that did that and helped me do that for me. And it felt really uncomfortable at first. Something I had to get used to.
Well, it certainly doesn't seem as though you feel that way anymore. I mean, look at you on national television with millions of people looking at you. It looks as though you've come a long way. How were you able to do such a thing?
Honestly, I believe this too was a major driving force behind me. She would always have my back, and she would always be pushing me to do better and push me to excel. And I think she had a lot to do with my success.
Well, what about Mr. Tui, Collins, and SJ? I mean, the movie showed that your relationship with them was really strong.
Oh yeah, man. SJ is like my little sidekick. We went everywhere together. I had 13 siblings, and he was the only one that I was really close to. Collins was like a sister to me. She would always have my back when the kids at Briarcrest tried to call me out. And Mr. Tui, he was awesome too. He was like the only real father figure I had in my life. He had all kinds of men in my life, but he was the one that he could make firm decisions, but he could still, show the true character of a man.
That's interesting. It sounds as though the Tui's really changed your life.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. They were so kind and compassionate to me as a stranger, that I couldn't help but notice, how much they cared for me, despite, my situation. It was truly a miracle, But what made me really want to stay with them more than anything?
What's that?
It was the love that poured out of their hearts for me, man.
That sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah. You have no idea. While growing up, in my neighborhood, drugs and violence, gang activity, alcoholism, that was all real common. But they had something different, and it's always good to know that you have someone that loves you.
Well, do you feel as though your mother didn't give you the love you needed as a child?
Honestly, no, man. I was her baby, And every mother strives to take care and do what's best by her kids. But she was strung out on drugs and alcohol most of the time.
Oh, I see. Well, Michael, we'll ask some more questions when we come back. We're going to take another commercial break, and stay tuned to see what happens next.
Also brought to you by
Febreze, the best solution for stinking roommates.
Hey, you stink.
No way, dude. Welcome back to Outside the Lines. Well, Michael, on a lighter note, you've become very triumphant in everything you do. You started off with hardly anything more than a 6th grade education, and you wound up being on the dean's list at Ole Miss. You started off, never playing a single down in football to go on to be one of the NFL's most agile, mobile, strongest, and most unique players in the left tackle position.
Well, thank you, sir.
No, Michael, thank you for all your hard work that you've done. Now that you're making the big money, what are your future plans?
Well, with all the interest that the field has generated, I would like to give some of my pay back to my community, After school programs for the kids, something for them to get involved in. Because out of hands is the devil's workshop, so I'm going to make sure that their hands are busy and they're not, setting themselves up for failure.
That's true. It's a very common statement that people hear all around the world. Are there any more future plans that you have beyond what you've already said?
Well, I'm just going to throw a play in the NFL, man. I've got to where I am today. I'm very appreciative of that for the Ravens for taking me in as a teammate there. I enjoy playing with the team, and I enjoy the team environment.
Well, what about after that?
Well, after that, I thought about that sometimes. I would like to maybe get a house, get a dog, marry a beautiful woman, have kids,
Cool. I can't blame you for that one, Michael. Well, I'd like to thank you for everything you've done, once again, for joining us today.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, indeed, Michael. Thank you, and may you continue to do well in your career.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for joining us and for this in-depth look at Michael Oher and his past, present, and future. Tune in next week for our interview with Michael Jordan, possibly the world's most influential basketball player. This has been Outside the Lines. I'm your host, Tyler Hill. And until next time, we'll see you.